church, thanks for joining me today. And if you're joining me today, that means you're online. And so much of our life is online now. We email, we put messages on social media, we do research, we do banking. Everything we seem to do is online, and it seems that every aspect of life is online. And sadly, that even means criminals. So many people are out there trying to hack your identity, get your information, that you've got to look for ways to protect yourself. One of those ways is something called a VPN, a virtual private network. And my family and I have looked into this because we, like many of you, have been victims of being hacked. I was overwhelmed by the number of companies out there. But at the end of the day, the one thing I had to come down to decide was, who do I trust? Who do I trust with my identity? Who do I trust to protect me from those who want to hurt me? And that's really something we need to talk about on a bigger scale. Who do you trust with your identity for eternity? Who do you trust to protect you from the enemy who's always trying to come in and mess with your life? You know, there's a great psalm, Psalm 20, and I'd encourage you to read this. But the people of God, well, they were going through a tough time. And so their king David went to the sanctuary and he went to pray, and the people joined him, and they were so excited because David was choosing to trust God. The battle that was before him, the challenge, the opposition, the struggle, David said, I need to go to God for help because I trust God. And that's the question that you and I have to ask. Who do you trust? Who do you trust to face the battles of life? Who do you trust when there's opposition in your life? David went to God. And one of the exciting things that we can learn from this is that God can always be trusted. I know many times my family and I have taken vacations and we've driven across the country, and we like to see how far we can drive before we get a hotel room. And many times we'd be so tired, it would be so late that we would say, well, let's just find the closest hotel. And the most important thing that we'd have to find was a name that we could trust. We weren't going to stop at the Bedbug Inn because that didn't sound like a good name. But we would stop at a Hilton or a Hyatt or a Best Western. Why? Because their name says everything that we need to know about them. When you know a name like Apple, you know what you're getting. When you know a name like Enron, you know what you're getting. The whole point of the people saying, we trust in the name of the Lord so much that we know we can put our banner up. We know we can put our flag up that says we trust in God. The question that is really in this psalm is that people say some trust in horses and chariots, but we will trust in the name of the Lord. Horses and chariots represented the most powerful weapons for victory, to defeat the enemy, to stop the opposition. But the people said, we don't want that. We trust in the name of the Lord. Think about those who have trusted in the name of the Lord. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. They were in the fiery furnace. They trusted in the name of the Lord, and nothing happened to them. Think about Daniel in the lion's den. He spent the night in there and nothing happened to him. Why? Because he trusted in the Lord. Whatever your battle, whatever you're facing, trust in the Lord. That's what David did, probably one of the most famous stories in the Bible, right? Young David comes, and here comes Goliath. David was just a shepherd boy, and here comes Goliath, and he's got javelins, and he's got weapons, and he's huge, and he's big. And David says, you come at me with the spear and the javelin and the sword, but I come at you in the name of the Lord. And we know how the story ended. And your story can end differently. Whatever battle you're facing, whatever opposition you have, whatever struggle you have, I want to encourage you. Don't trust in the horses and chariots of the world, but trust in the name of the Lord, because He will bring you victory. Have a great day.